Because we have to think a little bit different. So I want to challenge you to think a little bit different. So what are the 4 things that are going to help you and your organization or anybody that you bring to Kansas City? What's going to set you apart so they remember you, so they come back to you time after time? Well, the first thing is, I call it idealness. You've got to paint that picture to your team, to your employees, the people that you work with. What's the ideal picture that we want to create? What is it that we're all about? Now, some people call this a vision statement, but I think vision, sometimes people get lost, and it's been around for a long time. But idealness, if you say, what's the ideal state that we want to provide for our internal customers, which is our employees? I think that's a lot easier to define, perhaps, than a vision and a mission. Those are important, but they just need to know simply, what's that ideal state? So the first thing is, let's give our people some direction so they know where they're headed. So direction, idealness, that's the first tool that you need to give your people. The second thing, now you all have heard this all the time, is attitude. Well, you got to have the right attitude. But yet, when I've studied the companies that give the best service, they don't call it attitude, they call it spirit. What kind of spirit do your people have? And it comes to this. What's the promise that your people make to their customers? And what's the promise that you make to your internal customers? First day on a new job. I love it when somebody starts a new job. First day, here's what they're like. I got a new job, man. I love this. I'm working here. This is going to be awesome. 30 days with the typical manager. What's that same person look like? Man, I hate this job. Hate my boss. Right? We have taken all of that life out of them. So if you will simply take a couple of minutes, and what promise are you making to your internal customers? Write it down, hand it to them, because guess what? Now there's some accountability. The promise you're making, if you don't write it down and give it to them, the promise you make to your employees is the service that you deliver and how you deal with them. We're usually the reasons that they don't deliver better service to the outside world. So attitude, have that. What spirit do you have? The final thing is, the third thing is, what is it that makes you remarkable? I call this your freakness. What makes you a freak? Go ahead and look at the person to your left. Now look at the person to your right. If you could see what I see up here, would you not agree we have a room full of freaks? Right, we absolutely do. And your freakness is, what is it that makes you unique and remarkable? Why do people talk about you? Because if they're not talking about you, guess what? You're not making an impact. I'd rather have you talk about me negatively than not at all. But I'd rather have you talk about me positively. Wow, he was incredible. Right? And I can see it in your eyes already, ma'am. You're going to go back and you're going to tell somebody, that's the most handsome speaker I've ever seen in my whole life. And thank you very much for that. Right? So what is it that it's going to make people talk about you? What is it that makes your internal customers talk about what an awesome place this is to work? Fox Motor Group, we created a really terrific atmosphere. The employees go out and talk to other people in the community about what an awesome place it is to work. And now turnover is down to 4% annually. It was at 40%. People are lined up to get a job there. And their customer service scores have skyrocketed with their external customers. And they've had the most profitable 18 months they've ever had, simply because people are aligned and they know what's expected. So what is it that makes you remarkable? Embrace your freakness. And the final thing is the energy. What kind of energy are you giving out? So I'm going to take you through a real quick exercise here. There's 5 steps. You'll need your partner. So if we will, turn to your partner. Step number 1, I just want you to just turn to your partner and practice smiling. Give them your best smile, and a smile looks like this. You need teeth, the whole thing. Awesome. All right. Step number 2. Same thing. Turn to your partner with your best smile, but now it's a little more difficult. Now you're going to add some words. Turn to them with your best smile and add these words. I don't like you. I see a couple of you doing this. I wish I had partnered with Bob. I've been wanting to tell him that for years. Step number 3. Now I want you to put on your serious face. I saw some of y'all had the serious face. That's a good serious face, ma'am. Very nice. Serious face, right? You just ate a radish. All right, come on, Sue. Serious face. Sue, do this. Serious face. Now look at your partner with your serious face. Just practice looking at them seriously. See, people tell us that we can't change other people's attitudes. We can't change other people's energy. You absolutely can. All right, now, fourth step. Look at your partner with a serious face. Look them right in the eye and say these words. I love you. Go ahead. Don't smile. Say it seriously. And finally, look at this. The ladies over here are lining up. They're lining up. I want to tell Devin, I love you. He's not your partner. All right. And finally, if you would, make an okay sign with your right hand. Hold it up in the air. Hold it up high. Be proud. Okay, now take this okay sign and put it right here on your chin. Your chin's down here. Why? Just following, right? And my point here is what energy you give out is what you give back. If you wonder why your employees don't give out the kind of energy they ought to, guess what? You need to look in the mirror. I'm Frank Keck. I'm the people whisperer.